The early morning hours of April 14, 2025 were shattered by a horrifying event at the Pennsylvania governor's mansion in Harrisburg. Flames erupted from the historic residence, casting an eerie glow against the pre-dawn sky. The tranquility of the neighborhood was replaced by the piercing wail of sirens as fire trucks rushed to the scene. News of the blaze spread quickly, sending shockwaves through the state and beyond. This was not just a fire, it was an arson attack, a deliberate act of violence against a sitting governor and his family. The target of this attack was Governor Josh Shapiro, a Democrat who had taken office just over a year earlier. Shapiro, a former state attorney general, had garnered national attention for his work on criminal justice reform and consumer protection. He was known for his strong leadership and his unwavering commitment to justice. Now his home, a symbol of his office and the state he served, was under attack. The fire, later determined to be arson, was a chilling reminder of the increasing dangers faced by public officials in a deeply divided political climate. The attack sent shockwaves through the nation, raising questions about the safety of elected officials and the fragility of democracy itself. As investigators sifted through the charred debris, they searched for answers about the perpetrator, their motives, and the implications of this brazen attack on American democracy. Cody Balmer, the man at the center of this horrifying act, was no stranger to law enforcement. His criminal history painted a picture of a troubled individual with a propensity for violence and disregard for the law. A prior assault charge in 2023 and a guilty plea for forgery and theft in 2016 hinted at a pattern of instability and disregard for societal norms. Balmer's descent into extremism, culminating in the arson attack on the governor's mansion, served as a chilling case study in the radicalization of individuals fueled by misinformation, anger, and a sense of alienation. Balmer's confession was chilling in its matter-of-factness. He admitted to meticulously planning the attack, driven by a deep-seated hatred for Governor Shapiro and what he represented. He confessed to feeling increasingly marginalized and ignored by the political system, believing that violence was the only way to make his voice heard. Balmer's case, while horrific, was not an isolated incident. It reflected a growing trend of individuals radicalized online, exposed to extremist ideologies, and driven to violence by a potent cocktail of anger, resentment, and a perceived lack of agency. The attack on the governor's mansion was not just about destroying property, it was a symbolic assault on the very foundations of democracy. Balmer's actions were a direct attack on the peaceful transfer of power and the rule of law. His confession, devoid of remorse and filled with justifications rooted in anger and resentment, highlighted the urgent need to address the root causes of political extremism and violence. His actions served as a stark reminder that the threats to democracy often come from within, fueled by divisions within society and a failure to address the underlying issues that lead to radicalization. Balmer's confession, while providing some answers, also raised troubling questions about the adequacy of security measures for elected officials. It highlighted the challenges of identifying and mitigating threats in an age of social media, where extremist ideologies spread rapidly, and individuals can become radicalized without ever leaving their homes. Balmer's case underscored the need for a multifaceted approach to combating political violence, one that addresses not only the symptoms, but also the underlying causes of extremism. As flames engulfed the governor's mansion, the thoughts of many turned to the safety of those inside. Governor Shapiro, his wife, and their 4 children were all in residence, along with 2 family dogs and another family visiting for the Passover holiday. The image of the family's home, a place of warmth and laughter just hours earlier, now consumed by flames, sent chills down the spines of Pennsylvanians and Americans alike. The attack, a stark reminder of the vulnerability of even the most protected figures, left many wondering how a tragedy of this magnitude could have come so close to claiming the lives of a family. Thankfully, and due in no small part to the quick thinking of the governor's security detail and the swift response of first responders, all occupants of the mansion were safely evacuated. The relief that washed over the nation as news of their safety spread was palpable. The image of Governor Shapiro, his arm around his wife, children in tow, addressing the media hours after the attack, projected an image of resilience and strength in the face of adversity. Their escape, a testament to preparedness and courage under fire, offered a glimmer of hope in the face of a senseless act of violence. Despite the relief of their physical safety, the emotional toll of the attack on the Shapiro family was undeniable. The governor, in subsequent public addresses, spoke candidly about the impact of the event on his family, particularly his children, who had to grapple with the realization that their home had been targeted in such a horrific manner. The attack, a stark reminder of the human cost of political violence, served as a wake-up call for the nation to confront the growing climate of intolerance and hate that fueled such acts. The outpouring of support for the Shapiro family in the wake of the attack was immediate and overwhelming. Messages of solidarity poured in from across the political spectrum, a testament to the shared sense of outrage and disgust at the attack. The attack, while intended to sow fear and division, instead seemed to have the opposite effect, uniting Pennsylvanians and Americans alike in their condemnation of violence and their support for the governor and his family. The arson attack on the Pennsylvania governor's mansion was a chilling reminder of a disturbing trend: the increasing threat of political violence in the United States. The incident was not an isolated one, but rather a symptom of a broader societal illness, a growing climate of intolerance, division, and the normalization of violence as a means of political expression. From threats against election workers to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, the warning signs were clear. American democracy was facing an unprecedented internal threat. The incident in Pennsylvania forced the nation to confront uncomfortable truths about its own political discourse. The attack was not simply the act of a lone wolf, but rather the culmination of years of escalating rhetoric, demonization of political opponents, and the spread of misinformation and conspiracy theories. Social media, while offering a platform for connection and communication, had also become a breeding ground for extremism, allowing hate groups to organize, spread propaganda, and recruit new members with alarming ease. The attack on Governor Shapiro's home underscored the need for a multi-pronged approach to combating political violence. Strengthening security measures for elected officials and public figures was essential, but it was only a first step. Addressing the root causes of extremism, including the spread of misinformation, the normalization of hate speech, and the lack of civility in political discourse, was crucial. This required a collective effort from lawmakers, tech companies, educators, community leaders, and individuals to foster a more tolerant, respectful, and fact-based public square. In the wake of the attack, Governor Shapiro emerged as a powerful voice calling for unity and resilience. He urged Americans to reject the politics of division and hate, emphasizing the need for dialogue, empathy, and a shared commitment to democratic values. His message resonated with many who feared that the country was teetering on the brink of chaos. The attack on his home, rather than silencing him, had amplified his voice, turning him into a reluctant symbol of the fight against political violence and the importance of safeguarding American democracy.